The year was 2147, and humanity stood at the peak of its golden age. Cities stretched toward the heavens, AI-driven economies flourished, and fleets of starships mapped the edges of the solar system. Yet, for all their achievements, they were woefully unprepared for what came next. It began with the arrival, a massive alien armada dropping out of interstellar void space without warning. The Invaders, later dubbed the Vornox, were an insectoid war race, their civilization built upon conquest and extermination. They came not for diplomacy, nor for resources, but to wipe Earth clean and claim it as their own. The first attack struck Luna Colony, humanity's beacon of expansion beyond Earth. Within 12 minutes, every defensive satellite was obliterated. Within 30 minutes, the lunar surface was a graveyard of burning outposts and shattered domes. The screams of the dying never reached Earth, the Vornox ensured that. Then they turned to Mars. The Red Planet's defenses, led by the United Nations Stellar Command, UNSC, held out for 3 days before falling in a massacre that turned the sand redder. Humanity's proudest off-world colony was reduced to molten slag. Then came Earth's turn. The invasion fleet darkened the sky, blotting out the sun over major cities as they unleashed orbital bombardments. Plasma-laced projectiles rained down, turning metropolises into burning craters. New York, Beijing, Moscow, London, gone within hours. The global defense grid, designed for interplanetary threats, was completely overwhelmed. In desperation, humanity launched its planetary counterstrike, hundreds of warships engaging the Vornox above Earth's atmosphere. But for every alien warship destroyed, 10 more took its place. The battle turned into a slaughter. The fleet was annihilated. Then, the Vornox landed. Their biomechanical warforms flooded the ruins of Earth, hunting down survivors, dismantling human civilization piece by piece. Cities fell. Governments crumbled. Entire populations were exterminated. The few remaining strongholds, the underground bunkers, hidden resistance cells, knew they weren't fighting to win. They were fighting to survive. Yet, amidst the ruins, in the shadows of burning skyscrapers, humanity refused to surrender. And against all odds, the impossible was about to begin. The sky above Earth was no longer blue, it was a shifting canvas of ash, smoke, and alien warships hovering like vultures over a dying world. The Vornox, relentless in their extermination, had declared humanity's fate sealed. They were wrong. Beneath the ruined cities, in the depths of collapsed subways, forgotten bunkers, and shattered military installations, the resistance was forming. The survivors weren't just scavengers trying to escape death, they were soldiers, engineers, hackers, and civilians, people who refused to die quietly. Among them was Commander Elias Voss, a battle-hardened officer of the now-destroyed UNSC fleet. He had watched the orbital battle turn into a massacre, had lost his ship, his crew, and his family when the Vornox leveled Berlin. But in the face of despair, he found purpose, to make the invaders pay for every inch of soil they had stolen. Voss wasn't alone. Dr. Mira Cade, a former AI specialist, worked to reprogram salvaged alien tech, desperately searching for a weakness in the Vornox's impenetrable systems. Sergeant Daniel Briggs, a grizzled Marine who had led a desperate last stand in the ruins of Washington, D.C., now trained survivors to fight a guerrilla war. Leona Reyes, a rogue hacker, was Earth's last remaining link to the shattered global communications network, using ancient underground cables to coordinate resistance cells. Their plan wasn't about reclaiming Earth, not yet. It was about survival. Hit-and-run tactics. Disrupting supply chains. Ambushing isolated Vornox patrols. Spreading chaos. But time was against them. The Vornox weren't complacent conquerors. They were exterminators. Any hint of human resistance was met with ruthless precision. Entire underground shelters were collapsed with seismic bombs. Drones swept the ruins with infrared scans. The invaders even deployed bioplagues designed to wipe out remaining pockets of human DNA. And yet, humanity adapted. The Resistance scavenged Vornok's weapons, re-engineered alien drones to serve as spies, and used AI algorithms to predict patrol routes. They refused to die, and for the first time since the invasion, the Vornoks took notice. Then came the turning point. A Resistance scout, barely alive, stumbled into their hidden command post with critical intelligence. **** A Vornok's command nexus had been located in the ruins of Johannesburg****. This was no mere base. It was a primary control hub for the extermination protocols, coordinating all planetary operations. Destroy it, and humanity wouldn't just survive a little longer. They could strike back. The mission was clear: infiltrate the Nexus, plant a high-yield fusion bomb, and send a message to the Vornoks. Earth fights back. It was impossible. It was suicide. It was humanity's only chance. The Resistance had pulled off daring raids before, stealing supplies, ambushing patrols, even hacking into low-level Vornok systems. But this was different. This was war. Commander Elias Voss stood before his assembled strike team in an abandoned underground transit station, the last remnants of a city once teeming with life. Now, Johannesburg was just another Vornok stronghold, one they were about to burn to the ground. The Vornoks believe we're insects, Voss said, his voice like steel. They think we scurry in the shadows, waiting to be stomped out. Let's remind them why humanity has never gone quietly. His team was small, just 12 fighters, but every single one of them was a hardened survivor, ready to fight like demons for their species. Dr. Mira Cade carried a repurposed Vornok's energy disruptor, modified to overload their power grids. Sergeant Briggs had rigged human explosives with alien plasma cells, lethal and unpredictable. Leona Reyes had hacked into a Vornok's data relay, ensuring they'd approach unnoticed. For now. Their plan relied on stealth, sabotage, and overwhelming force at the perfect moment. ### the infiltration. Using underground tunnels, the team maneuvered beneath the city ruins, emerging only once night had fallen. The Vornok's command nexus loomed ahead, a monolithic structure of pulsating biometal, its surface alive with shifting patterns of alien energy. Towers of writhing black tendrils extended into the sky, feeding off stolen planetary resources. The first kill was silent. Briggs slit the throat of a Vornok sentry with a salvaged plasma dagger. Another went down from a suppressed energy shot to the head. Then, things went wrong. A drone patrol, previously unseen on their stolen maps, floated into their path. Reyes tried to jam it, but the Vornoks had already adapted. The drone let out a piercing shriek. The alarm was raised. No more stealth. ### the battle. Turrets unfolded from the alien walls. Plasma bolts rained down. The team dove for cover, returning fire with everything they had. Briggs unleashed a homemade incendiary grenade, turning a squad of Vornok's warriors into screeching fireballs. Mira overloaded an energy conduit, causing a chain reaction that took down one of the guard towers. Voss charged forward, leading the assault with brutal efficiency. The plan was collapsing, but they would not retreat. Push through, he roared, firing into the mass of enemy soldiers. One by one, Resistance fighters fell. 4 were dead before they reached the Nexus entrance. Then came their biggest threat yet, a Vornok's enforcer, a towering brute covered in segmented armor. It moved with terrifying speed, impaling one of the team with a bladed limb before hurling another across the battlefield. Nothing stopped it. Until Mira found its weakness. Exposed neural core on the back, she shouted. Voss sprinted through gunfire, leapt onto the creature's back, and jammed a plasma blade into its core. The enforcer let out a deafening shriek before collapsing into a heap of smoldering exoskeleton. ### the bomb. With the path clear, Reyes and Briggs set the fusion bomb deep inside the Nexus's power core. 2 minutes to detonation. Reyes called. The team sprinted for the exit as Vornok's reinforcements swarmed in. plasma bolts struck the ground around them, and another fighter was gunned down. Briggs, bleeding but grinning, turned back. "I'll hold them off." "Get clear." "No, Voss began, but Briggs had already charged into the enemy ranks, laying down suppressive fire as the doors slammed shut behind him. They reached a safe distance just as the bomb detonated. A shockwave of pure energy erupted from the Nexus, collapsing the entire structure and sending a rippling explosion through the Vornox network. The sky itself seemed to burn as enemy relays flickered and died. For the first time since the invasion, humanity had landed a decisive blow. Voss stood among the ruins, chest heaving, as the surviving fighters regrouped. The cost had been high, but it was worth it. Across the planet, resistance cells picked up the signal. Earth fights back. The destruction of the Vornox command nexus in Johannesburg sent shockwaves across the occupied planet. For the first time, the invaders had suffered a devastating, undeniable loss. And they did not take it lightly. Within hours, Vornox warships descended upon the ruins, scanning for survivors, vaporizing anything that moved. Drones scoured the tunnels, hunting for the ones responsible. But Elias Voss and his team were already gone. They had escaped through a network of old underground aquifers, aided by local resistance cells who had witnessed the explosion from afar. Humanity had found hope, but hope came at a cost. They had lost nearly half their fighters, including Sergeant Briggs. Yet, as Voss sat in a dimly lit hideout beneath the shattered remains of Cape Town, he couldn't afford to grieve. Not yet. Because Reyes had decrypted something, something big, **. #### the enemy's secret weakness. While hacking into the Vornox network to disable security during the raid, Reyes had intercepted a classified transmission. At first, it seemed like routine data, until she realized what it meant. "The Vornox aren't invincible," Reyes said, setting down a cracked datapad. Her voice was tense, but there was a hint of exhilaration. "They have a command hierarchy. And at the top? There's something called a prime mind." Voss narrowed his eyes. "Explain." Mira Cade leaned forward. "It's like a central intelligence. The Vornox act like a hive, but unlike insects, they don't just operate on instinct. The prime mind controls everything: their battle formations, their extermination plans, their response to resistance movements. It all comes from a single, central source." Voss's fingers curled into a fist. "And if we kill it?" "They collapse," Reyes answered. "Not completely, but without orders, they become disorganized, slower, vulnerable." It was the breakthrough they had been waiting for. #### The Vornox response. But before they could act, the Vornox retaliated. Without warning, orbital bombardments targeted known resistance strongholds. Cape Town, Buenos Aires, and remnants of Tokyo, ***, all leveled within hours, ***. The skies burned as Vornox ships tightened their planetary grip, cutting off trade routes, setting up extermination zones. The resistance had drawn blood, but now the enemy was hunting them like animals. Voss and his team barely escaped the underground base before the entire city was turned to glass by plasma bombardment. "The bastards are getting desperate," Mira muttered as they fled through the wreckage, dodging scout drones. "No," Voss corrected, his jaw clenched. "They know we have something. #### A desperate gamble." With resistance cells on the run and Earth's remaining population dwindling, there was no time for slow planning. If the Vornox kept up their attacks, humanity wouldn't last another month. "We need to strike now," Voss declared as the surviving leaders of the global resistance gathered in an abandoned underground military bunker. "How?" one of the commanders asked. "We don't even know where the prime mind is." Reyes smirked. "Actually, we do." Using the data she stole, Reyes had pinpointed a single, massive structure buried deep in the Amazon rainforest, one that didn't match Vornox colony designs. It was older, deeper, pulsing with energy. "Their prime mind is here," she said, tapping a map. "They buried it beneath the jungle, probably because it's the only thing keeping them connected to their forces across the galaxy. The room went silent. Voss exhaled sharply. Then that's our target. Cade frowned. Even if we get there, how do we kill it? If it's protected. I'll figure it out, Voss said, standing. But if we don't take this shot, Earth is done. ####### The final war begins. Word spread across the resistance. This was the mission, the last gamble. The defining moment in humanity's fight for survival. Across the shattered remains of Earth, survivors prepared for the final assault. Scavenged starships were armed. Plasma rifles were loaded, ****, every last human willing to fight prepared for what could be their final battle. Because the next strike wouldn't be another raid. It would be a war for Earth's very soul. The last remnants of humanity's resistance gathered for war. The mission was clear, ****, strike the heart of the Vornox hive, kill the Prime Mind, and cripple the enemy once and for all, ****. It was suicide. But if they failed, humanity was finished anyway. Voss stood before his fighters in a hidden jungle outpost, the last army of Earth, ****, 200 battle-hardened survivors, a mix of former soldiers, engineers, and civilians who had learned to fight. They were armed with scavenged plasma rifles, repurposed alien drones, and explosives cobbled together from whatever scraps they could find. This is it, Voss said, his voice unwavering. We don't get another shot at this. We take down the Prime Mind, or we die knowing we fought to the last breath. A low growl of determination rippled through the crowd. These weren't just fighters, they were the last defiant spark of the human race. Reyes had cracked the Vornox encryption, uncovering the hidden entrance to the Prime Mind's underground lair. It was heavily fortified, shielded by alien force fields and guarded by the strongest warriors the Vornox had left. They had one advantage, the Vornox didn't expect a full-scale human attack. So humanity would give them one. #### The assault begins. At dawn, the resistance struck. Explosives erupted across the jungle, shattering Vornox perimeter defenses. Fighters surged forward, using the dense foliage as cover. Plasma fire painted the air in streaks of blue and red. Vornox soldiers poured out of the entrance, a wave of biomechanical death, but the resistance fought like demons. Mira Cade deployed an energy disruptor, overloading enemy weapons. Reyes hijacked Vornox drones, turning them against their masters. Voss led the charge, cutting through the enemy with precision and fury. For every human that fell, 2 more surged forward. They weren't just fighting for victory, ****, they were fighting for vengeance, ****. The Vornox, unaccustomed to a species that refused to surrender, hesitated. That hesitation cost them. Briggs had once said, hit M where they think they're strongest, and make M bleed. That's exactly what humanity did. #### The descent into the hive. With the outer defenses broken, Voss's strike team pushed into the subterranean tunnels beneath the rainforest. The deeper they went, the more alien the world became. The walls pulsed like living tissue, and strange, unreadable glyphs glowed with an eerie green light. Then they saw it, ****, the Prime Mind, ****. A monstrous, pulsating entity, suspended in a massive chamber of biometal and energy conduits. Its grotesque, insectoid body was fused with thousands of neural tendrils, stretching across the ceiling like a living supercomputer. This was the brain of the Vornox war machine. And it was waiting for them. A deep, rumbling voice echoed inside their heads, not in words, but in raw, alien thoughts. ***, you are an anomaly. You should not have survived. ***. Voss raised his rifle. Yeah? Neither should you. #### The final stand. The hive exploded into chaos. The Prime Mind unleashed its last line of defense, massive, towering bio-titans, grotesque monstrosities of flesh and steel, faster and stronger than anything they had faced before. The team fought with everything they had. Mira Cade planted charges along the Prime Mind's neural conduits, cutting off its control. Reyes hacked into the core systems, forcing a catastrophic overload. Voss battled a bio-titan in brutal hand-to-hand combat, dodging razor-sharp claws before shoving a plasma grenade into its gaping maw. The room shook with violent tremors. As the Prime Mind convulsed, it screamed in a telepathic fury. Its link to the Vornox fleets was breaking. The enemy forces across Earth began to falter. Ships stopped responding to commands. Squads of Vornox warriors staggered, confused, disoriented, ***. Humanity had done the impossible, ***. They had severed the head of the beast, ***. But the Prime Mind wasn't dead yet. Its broken form writhed, desperately trying to reconnect to its fleet. Voss, battered and bleeding, stared into its glowing, alien eyes. "No more," he whispered. With his last grenade, he ripped out a neural conduit and shoved the explosive deep into the creature's core. The last thing the Prime Mind saw was a human defying it. ###the explosion. The charges detonated in a blinding eruption of energy, consuming the entire hive in a fireball of destruction. The resistance barely escaped as the jungle collapsed in on itself, burying the Vornox command structure forever. For the first time in years, Earth was silent. The Vornox forces, leaderless and disoriented, began to crumble. Humanity had won the battle. But the war wasn't over. Because now, it was time to wipe the Vornox out for good. The Prime Mind was dead. The Vornox forces across Earth reeled in confusion, their once coordinated war machine now stumbling without a guiding intelligence. Some units collapsed into disarray, aimlessly wandering or fighting amongst themselves. Others still fought with blind aggression, operating on fragmented commands, but they lacked the precise, overwhelming strategy that had once crushed Earth's defenses. Humanity had done the impossible. But Elias Voss knew this wasn't over. "We don't just survive," he told his soldiers. "We finish this, we take Earth back." #### The counteroffensive begins. With the Vornox in chaos, the Resistance launched a planet-wide assault. Across every continent, hidden cells rose from the ashes, striking at weakened alien garrisons. In North America, survivors used hijacked Vornox hovercrafts to bomb enemy strongholds. In Europe, underground militias stormed biometal towers, clearing out remnants of the occupation. In Asia and Africa, former prisoners turned their chains into weapons, overpowering stunned alien overseers. For the first time since the invasion, humanity was on the offensive. And the Vornox? They were losing. ###. The fall of the warships. Despite their crumbling ground forces, Vornox warships still dominated the skies, capable of leveling entire cities if given the chance. Humanity needed to bring them down, fast. That's where Leona Reyes came in. Her stolen data revealed one last secret. The Prime Mind hadn't just controlled the troops, it had linked itself to the warship's command network. Now, with the Central Intelligence dead, Reyes could override the fleet systems. Inside a captured Vornox command hub, she and a small team of hackers brute-forced their way into the alien mainframe. The walls pulsed with sickly green light, warning glyphs flashing in unreadable patterns. Voss, standing guard outside, heard the approaching screeches of a surviving Vornox squad. "Reyes, tell me you've got this," he barked, leveling his rifle. "Working on it," she shot back, frantically typing. Lines of alien code blurred across her screen. Mira Cade fired into the shadows, cutting down advancing Vornox warriors. "We don't have time." Then, ***success, ***. A deep, guttural hum resonated from the skies above. Reyes had done it. The warships, once unstoppable, now flickered with failing power systems. She had activated a system-wide crash, turning their own technology against them. One by one, the great Vornox dreadnoughts lost control. Some veered off course, crashing into the ocean. Others spiraled toward the land, erupting in spectacular explosions as they slammed into the ruins of once great cities. The sky, once darkened by alien oppression, now burned with the fire of their defeat. The last stand of the Vornox. The remaining Vornox warriors were now leaderless, desperate, and enraged. They didn't flee. They fought. Cornered and with no reinforcements coming, the remaining Vornox forces dug in, determined to slaughter as many humans as they could before falling. Voss led his fighters into one last battle. The fight was brutal, hand-to-hand combat in the ruins of civilization ***. Knives against claws. Plasma against steel. Humanity was battered, exhausted, but they did not yield. Because this was not just survival anymore. This was payback. With every Vornox that fell, Earth was reclaimed, inch by bloody inch. The final kill. The last surviving Vornox warlord, a towering beast clad in scorched armor, made a final stand atop the ruins of what was once a human city center. It roared at the sky, defiant, unwilling to accept defeat. Voss stared up at the creature, bloodied and bruised. He slung his plasma rifle over his back and pulled a human combat knife from his belt. No more invasions, he said, stepping forward. No more massacres. The warlord lunged. Voss met it head-on. It was brute strength versus sheer human determination. The Vornox clawed at him, but Voss dodged and drove his blade into its exposed throat, twisting with all the fury of his fallen comrades. The warlord collapsed, choking on its own alien blood. With one last breath, it whispered into Voss's mind. You should not have won. Voss ripped the knife free. Too bad, he said, watching the last of Earth's invaders die at his feet. Humanity stands tall. As the sun rose over a scarred, war-torn Earth, the truth became clear. The Vornox were gone. Their warships had fallen. Their warriors lay dead. Their prime mind, the great intelligence that had controlled them, was nothing but ash. And humanity? Humanity had won. A new dawn. As Voss stood on the battlefield, surrounded by survivors, he saw something he hadn't in a long time. Hope. Mira, covered in dirt and blood, sat beside him. It's over. Reyes, exhausted but grinning, added, "We did it." Voss nodded, looking toward the horizon. We did. The world was broken. The scars of war would never fade. But for the first time in years, Earth belonged to humans again. And they would never let it be taken from them again. The war was over. The Vornox, who had once descended upon Earth as unstoppable conquerors, were now nothing more than rotting husks and wreckage littering the battlefield. Their towering warships lay broken in the oceans, their once mighty armies silenced forever. Humanity had won. But victory came at a cost. A world in ruins. Elias Voss stood atop the shattered remains of a ruined skyscraper in what was once New York City. The towering skyline had been reduced to rubble, twisted steel and glass reflecting the morning sun of a world reborn. Beneath him, survivors gathered, thousands of them, scarred, starving, but alive. Across the world, the last remnants of the resistance emerged from hiding, stepping into the light of a new era. Yet, the cost of survival was clear. Cities were nothing but ghosts of the past, infrastructure was gone. The planet itself had been scarred by war. For a moment, Voss let himself feel the weight of it all. The dead. The suffering. The sheer scale of loss, ***. Then he exhaled. We survived, he muttered. Mira Cade stood beside him, her rifle slung over her back. Yeah. But now what? Voss turned to face the people gathering below. Scavengers. Former soldiers. Families who had spent years hiding underground, ***. They were waiting for a leader. Not a king. Not a dictator. A builder. A guide, ***. Voss had never wanted to lead. He had fought to survive, to strike back. But now? Now humanity needed more than warriors. They needed a future. ##### rebuilding civilization. Across the world, survivors banded together to rebuild. Engineers repurposed Vornox technology, using alien generators to power what remained of human cities. Scientists and doctors scavenged old medical facilities, setting up makeshift hospitals to treat the wounded. Former soldiers became the defenders of the new world, ensuring that nothing, not alien remnants, not desperate raiders would threaten Earth again. Voss, Reyes, and Cade traveled to every major survivor settlement, helping to form a new global coalition. The old world was gone, no more nations, no more governments but that didn't mean chaos. It meant a fresh start. #### the last Vornox remnant. Months later, as humanity reclaimed more of Earth, Voss and his team stumbled upon one last horror. A hidden Vornox chamber, buried deep beneath what had once been the Arctic ice sheets. Inside? A hatchery. Rows upon rows of dormant Vornox eggs, pulsating faintly, waiting to be reborn. A last contingency plan left by the invaders, meant to rise when humanity had let its guard down. Voss stared at the grotesque sight, his jaw tightening. Mira exhaled sharply. "We burn it." Reyes hesitated. "This is a chance to study them. To understand them. Maybe even prepare in case." "No," Voss said coldly. Humanity had already understood the Vornox. They were butchers. Conquerors. A plague, ****. And Earth would never be their breeding ground again. Without another word, Voss lit the entire chamber ablaze. No mercy. No second chances, ****. The Vornox would never return. #### a warning to the stars. Months passed. Cities were rebuilt. The scars of war remained, but humanity endured. But Earth was no longer just a survivor's world. It was a warning. A beacon to the stars. Reyes, using salvaged Vornox technology, broadcasted a message into the void, an unmistakable signal. To those who would invade, who would take what is ours. We are humanity. We do not kneel. Come, if you dare. But know this, ****. We will survive. We will fight. And we will win. #### a future forged in fire. On a quiet evening, Voss stood outside the remains of an old military base, staring up at the stars. Mira stepped beside him, arms crossed. "Do you think they heard the message?" "Oh, they heard it," Reyes said, walking up with a smirk. "The real question is, will they listen?" Voss smirked. "Doesn't matter." Mira raised an eyebrow. "Oh yeah? Why's that?" Voss glanced at the newly built human warships, taking shape in the background. Sleek, powerful vessels, built from Vornox wreckage, but improved, reforged in humanity's image. "They come for us again?" Voss said, watching as one of the ships roared to life, lifting into the sky. "They won't find us waiting."